Friday Night Rocks on AT Sportsnet is presented by IC Light. With you from Toronto, Ontario tonight. And a rare trip north of the border for the Buccos. Taking on the Blue Jays in a good pitching matchup here from Rogers Center, located at downtown Toronto. A lot of Pirate fans making their way up here. Not a very far drive at all from Pittsburgh. So great to see all the Bucco representation and everybody with celebratory hugs for Tom Prince, who will in essence make his managerial debut the next couple of days here.
Yeah, it's going to be his team for these next two nights, and I mean everybody I'm sure kind of kidding around with him in that clubhouse, in that dugout.
And there's some of those Bucco fans. Here's Tom Prince's RAV4 lineup for tonight for the Buccos. Adam Frazier atop the order. He's been hot since the All-Star break. Harrison and then Andrew McCutchen. Josh Bell, the rookie, cleans up. And he's had a good couple of games back in Detroit. Now David Freese will bat fifth. Polanco's the DH today. Mercer, Jaso, and Cervelli will round out the order. Again, the DH here in an American League ballpark.
Take a look at Stroman's numbers on the year. They are very good. He's obviously one of the better pitchers in either league. 145 innings in his 23 ball games. 120 strikeouts, 46 base on balls. Not bad there. And as we were talking in the open, he's very much a competitor and very much an athlete out there.
Stands at 5'8". And for Toronto, the defense behind him. Josh Donaldson, the former MVP, out there at third. It's brought to you by Honda, Goins, and Ref Snyder, the double play combination with Justin Smoke on the other corner. Former Pirate Steve Pearce in left, Kevin Pillar and Ezekiel Carrera in the outfield, and another former Pirate doing the catching, familiar face, Russell Martin. Crowd assembling here on this Friday night from Toronto.
Sea of blue.
Former Skydome. That name sounds familiar for some. Been Rogers Center for quite some time now. And we're underway. So Frazier atop that order. 3 more hits yesterday. Last 12 games hitting at .457.
Been very, very consistent since that All-Star game.
And he's ahead of the count 3-0.
Still hitting over 400 innings since the break.
Now he'll see a strike. Umpiring crew this evening. Mike Everett is the crew chief, and he'll call the balls and strikes. Jordan Baker over at first. Bruce Dreckman at second base. Chad Whitson, call-up umpire, over at third. Now full. Frazier not afraid to get to 2 strikes. The best 2-strike hitter in terms of batting average in baseball. Stroman 5'8". Rare to see a right-hander that stature. And he has performed very well. Goins handled the first out of the ball game. Troy Tulowitzki out for the year. And the Pirates leadoff man put aside here in the first. Josh Harrison coming up.
Well, even though he's not very tall, he's still got a very good arm. He'll throw that fastball up there most of the time, around 93, 94. Might see a couple of mid-90s out of him, a 95 here and there.
Harrison at 276. Now the Pirates not very familiar with Stroman. He pitched in relief 3 years ago. But if anybody has a handle, it might be the guy up and the guy on deck.
Seen him a little bit in the Lee Calm and Dunedin.
And teammates in the World Baseball Classic, where Stroman was named the most valuable player. Andrew McCutchen part of that squadron as well. for the United States. Chopped off his foot. You'll note that surface too that Harrison is standing on. That's artificial turf here tonight.
Right down on top of his toe. Turf toe.
Yes, I was thinking kind of along the same lines. There's Tom Prince, acting manager tonight, along with Ray Searage. As Prince, normally the bench coach. Clint Hurdle attending the funeral of Don Baylor the next couple of days. Easy play for Stroman and 2 outs. Now, artificial surface here in Toronto, one of the last bastions of the turf here in Tampa Bay. That's it. It is a retractable roof. And
I like the fact there's still a couple of places around. I mean, I played most of my life on that kind of a surface.
Yeah. I mean, especially in the National League, so many.
It never really bothered me. A lot of pitchers didn't like it. I kind of did, to be honest with you.
Andrew McCutchen batting with the bases clear. What made you like the turf? Usually it would move real fast, right?
Yeah, it is fast, but the infielders, they can back up a little bit. And we always had really good defensive infield. And they never had to worry about any bad hops or anything like that. Just pick it and throw it.
Stroman sometimes, as we saw in that last pitch, will do a long hesitation. That is part of his windup. And Refsnyder will record the final out. 3 ground ball outs. That's Stroman's game. And Toronto will come to bat here in the first. Blue Jays coming up. Another ex-Pirate, Jose Bautista, leading things off, and the lineup for John Gibbons's Blue Jays. Bautista, then Russell Martin with the ex-MVP Josh Donaldson batting third. Justin Smoke having a career year cleaning up. Steve Pearson left. Ezekiel Carrera is the right fielder today. And then Goins, Pilar, and Refsnyder.
Jameson's numbers, the ERA kind of got elevated. He had a couple of very bad starts. He took on a lot of earned runs, but got that back to where he wanted it. When he threw all those great curveballs in his last start.
Had a rough first inning. Leadoff man got on in the second, and then talking with Tyone the other day, he said, you know, he just got fed up. He said, you know, instead of trying to think his way out of the inning, he said he wanted to stuff his way out of the inning, meaning, you know, using his abilities. Throw that fastball by guys, use that great curveball.
Yeah, the curveball really was the pitch for him.
And then it was a quiet outing the rest of the way for him. Bautista, not your typical type leadoff hitter, I guess, right? With the power that he shows. 36 years old now.
Close. But that curveball might have been called.
Our WB Mason strike zone.
A nice little cluster right down there in the corner.
And Cervelli, a token look.
That is a good spot to throw that fastball. When somebody is waiting so long to pull the trigger that they can take that curveball that is literally a quarter of an inch off the plate, they're probably not going to be on time to get to that fastball that's in up on their hands. It's exactly what happened.
But he struck him out.
He fooled him by that curveball. You can see him kind of straighten up. Thought that pitch was coming up and in, and by the time he saw it break, too late.
Knee buckler. And Bautista strikes out to start.
Right off the bat here, Taillon showing that good hook.
Russell Martin at 224. Freeze ranging to get the second out. 2 up and 2 down for Jameson Taillon. And what do you got for tonight's Rivers Casino tips to win for tonight?
Well, I think it is going to be a low scoring affair. Both these pitchers will probably be on their game. So you got to have good defense. Everybody make the adjustments you have to playing on turf. The first time in a long time. There are some major differences than on the grass, and also low scoring game. Be smart on the bases. Don't want to give away any outs out there on the bases. Don't make any mistakes. But the turf is not really all that much faster than grass is. In fact, nowadays most of these grass fields are very fast, and so it's about the same speed as that. But we understand that this is a very grippy turf. So if the ball has a lot of spin on it, it might bite one way or another. And probably won't apply to tonight, but next couple of days, day games, and get the roof open. If it heats up, it can be very bouncy. And outfielders have to be a little aware of that ball bouncing up, and they're charging it and they run right underneath it. Little adjustments I got to make.
Grippy, the opposite of slippy.
Yes. Grass can be slippy.
Yeah. Well, they mow it now like a putting green.
Yeah, it's
almost every.
About everywhere you go, that grass nowadays is very quick. The ball really gets through the infield, through the gaps.
Ahead of Donaldson. And you see the infield dirt here at Toronto as well, and that's. Oh, look at this. Using Nolan Arenado's bat. I have to think maybe he picked up some from the All-Star game. Years past. How about David Freese?
Was that good defense we were talking about that you would like to see tonight in a well-pitched game? Freese with a dandy.
So Donaldson had his bat and Freese had his range and arm. And that ends the inning. So a nice frame for Jameson Taillon. David Freese ranging on that last play, really ranging here. The bare hand and throwing out Donaldson to end the first. play by David Freese to end that first inning. In the middle of the lineup coming up for the Buccos. Freese will be due up second here in the second. The leadoff man is Josh Bell. And now they're taking a look at Russell Martin.
Well, it looks like they're going to take him out of the game.
Martin grounded out to third last inning, hitting. And not really sure what happened. He grounded out on a contested play. So running down the line hard. So there will be a new backstop for the Blue Jays. An inning in. Let's see
Does he
if
come
we
out of the
can find
box?
anything.
Watch when he comes out of the box.
Didn't even push, you know, wasn't even a step out, and it was already wincing.
He just coming out of the box, you could see that they had a little something going on, and he's trying to stay in there, but okay, I'm looking to the dugout.
So Martin out.
Groin or a hamstring, probably.
Rafi Lopez will come in and catch. Lopez with significantly less experience as a major leaguer, just a handful of games. They'll figure out what they're going to do here tonight with Josh Bell leading things off. And look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders. Pirates rookies, most home runs in a season. And you look at there have only been 5 in all the years of the Pirates that have hit 20 home runs. And Josh Bell with 40+ games still remaining. I would think that he would end up being atop that list by the end of the season.
He's going to be very close to it, that's for sure. I like the fact that he hit that long home run yesterday against the Tigers, and he's kind of been like that where he groups them together a little. And here in this ballpark, and then of course we're going to go to Miller Park for a couple of games there. I'm hoping he stays hot, and maybe when we get home, instead of having 20, he'll have 22, 23, something like that.
Start climbing up those charts.
And that helps the team also. One of the things that I always say at Miller Park, if you're going to win these games, you got to hit some home runs.
Yeah.
This was a absolute rocket. Look how high up into the stands that got.
437 feet.
When he hits them, they stay hit.
He's really been unheralded this season because of Aaron Judge in the American League, because of Cody Bellinger with the Dodgers.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's right there. Look at that, first or second, everything.
And in a regular year, he probably would have been very much the favorite for Rookie of the Year.
Well, that 26 home runs that Bay hit, he was Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't usually see that. So now, after Lopez is situated back behind the plate for Toronto in his 11th game in the major leagues as a catcher. Lopez only with 25 career plate appearances. A few weeks shy of his 30th birthday. Bell, along with those 20 home runs, 62 runs batted in, second on the club behind McCutchen.
A little bit of a weak spot right there for Josh Bell. That hard slider cutter that's coming down and in at him. Look at his hot zones. That's not one of them.
Skied to left. Steve Pearce. That's the first out. First out in the air, too. Stroman will get the ball on the ground quite a bit.
think about how high Bell hit that ball. It's probably about a quarter inch, a little lower on the bat. And he drives out a home run out the left field.
It's that close.
He
right?
had to got the barrel on it pretty good. Yeah, he dropped the ball just another quarter inch or so down, and the trajectory of the bat coming off is going to really change a lot. Round ball, round bat.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't take much to hit it just a little bit lower, and now instead of a high fly ball, it's you drive it into the bullpen.
David Freese making a couple plays at third last inning.
When you think about it, it's one of the things that make hitting so incredibly difficult, because it is down to like fraction of an inch on that bat between the line drive or that home run type trajectory from a ground ball, pop up, routine fly out.
Pirates hitting coach Jeff Branson. Jeff Livesey behind him, assistant. Foul by a meter. No imperial measurements here.
Meter.
Oh, good. That way we can figure it out. So when Freese hits a home run, I don't have to say it was 120 meters. We'll have it for us. Pirates been working some counts against Stroman. He dispatches Freese. Not afraid to go off speed. Throw breaking stuff on 3-2 there. Hey, spend your afternoon at the ballpark on Saturday, August the 19th. That's a week from tomorrow. The Pirates will host the Cardinals at 4:05, and the first 20,000 fans taking home a Gregory Polanco El Cafe bobblehead. Thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. And you go to pirates.com/bobbleheads. Pick up your tickets. Come on out. The Pirates, when they return home, will have a day in Williamsport the following day. That's Sunday.
Going to be fun. I'm very much looking forward to that. I want to go to Williamsport since I was 12.
Stroman gets the final out. 6 up and 6 down against the Blue Jays starter tonight. Unlimited baseball break. And for the 37-year-old CC Sabathia on the 10-day DL, right knee inflammation. The Cardinals, first time they've ever had consecutive games with go-ahead grand slams. Dexter Fowler and Yadier Molina. And the Brewers, they lost 4 games against the Twins. They're 9-17 since the All-Star break, falling from the top spot and now finding themselves in 3rd place, a game ahead of the Pirates as we begin things tonight.
3-2-1.
That's everyone right there.
It's like a ladder for us to climb.
Justin Smoak's having a great season. First base runner of the ball game.
A two-seamer that wasn't down far enough.
All-star starting first baseman. And Steve Pearce came up with the Pirate system. Was really glad to see so many of his former coaches that are part of the outfit today for the Pirates. Just about everybody at some point or another helped Pearce as he made his way up to the major leagues. And the guy managing the Pirates tonight was Pearce's first manager, Tom Prince, first manager of pro ball. Smoak not a threat to run. He hasn't stolen a base this year. Pearce, as he's made his way around for a while now, a little bit more stability here in his 11th season, signing a 2-year deal. Always had to work on those 1-year contracts.
Yeah, he's one of those players that they never really get into a situation where they can take that deep breath and relax and think, okay, I'm here now, and just have to fight it out year after year. Back in those rosters.
34 years old now.
A lot of time with the Orioles.
With Houston, the Yankees, Tampa Bay.
But remember right, when he was with the Pirates, he had a tough time health-wise. He had a lot of injury problems. Every time there was a situation where there was a place for him to play, he would end up getting hurt himself, and the opportunity would slide by. But he could always hit pretty good.
Yeah, that year he came up, didn't hit any with the Pirates, but in the minor leagues he started A ball and worked his way all the way to the major leagues that year. He had 31 home runs. That was already 10 years ago. He's been playing pretty much every day out there and left. They'll draw the walk, 2 men on with nobody out. They'll move Smoak up to second. Tom Prince, we talked about him. He's filling in for Clint Hurdle over the next 2 days. And in the minor leagues, lots of years as a manager, a lot of experience, and a lot of success as well.
Yeah, he's really always been a Pirate guy. He moved around. He played for some different people, but he came up with the Pirates, and all this the good coaching and managing work he's done in the minor leagues with the Pirates. Longtime Bradenton resident. He's a bucko. There's no doubt about it.
You like throwing to him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was a very solid defensive catcher. Good throwing arm.
And Carrera driving this one to left. Frazier able to haul it in. And the runners retreat. Good recovery by Adam Frazier out there and left.
Able to stay with it. It's different, ceilings that you're looking up. There are times that if you take your eye off it and run to a spot and then look back up, it's hard to find. You can see there Frazier never looks away. Even though he kind of got turned around, he never took his eye off the baseball. Didn't want to have to reacquire it.
So 1 out. Ryan Goins.
Focused. Don't let it out of your sight. Up there in those rafters.
Roof closed tonight.
Not the ball is going through the rafters. I'm just saying.
That's
you're
the
looking
backdrop.
up. Yeah, you're looking up as it's traveling along.
Owens not thinking curveball there. 2 strikes.
A little different than looking up into a dark night sky. And just nothing up there but that white baseball.
.219 hitter, though swinging the bat well lately. That'll get through. Smoke started back, and he'll get to third here with 1 out. Toronto has loaded the bases.
Well, fortunately, that this line drive has hit softly and not very high. So Smoke had there was nothing he could do. He's got to go back on this. I mean, there's at least a flip of the coin chance that Jordy's going to end up making that catch. So once he does that, that takes away any chance of him scoring on that. But that actually is good fundamental base running.
Bases full of birds. Kevin Pillar. Down a strike. Tough guy to double up conventionally, but with the bases loaded, you sometimes have some other options there. Hitting .123 with runners in scoring position. And he's an everyday player. That's not just a handful of at bats.
Yeah, that's not a very good number.
Inning started with Smoke single. He's at third now. Pierce walked at second. And Goins with that line drive single at first. Tyone trying to keep it scoreless. Smoke back to tag. He's coming home. And he is going to score. Toronto leads 1-0.
Just deep enough. They did what he wanted to avoid hitting that ground ball. Didn't want the double play to be a factor. He got it in the air.
Other runners hold.
It's a nice job by Bell. He kind of acted like he was going to be able to make a play on that ball as it was coming in.
That freezes the other runners.
Yeah, they have to stop and wait.
Rob Refsnyder.
If he cuts it off, they don't want to just be an easy out to end the inning.
27th RBI for Pillar. Bell maturing over at first base as the season's gone on.
They're definitely making progress.
Well, you don't have a pitcher in an American League lineup, but Refsnyder in brief action at 135.
What are you trying to say?
A pitcher usually comes up with a similar batting average. Now, not a lot of time for Refsnyder, to be fair.
The pitchers don't get a lot of ABs either.
That's true. with the Yankees earlier this season. There's Ray Searage. Let's see if Tyone can get out of this. Still only thrown 18 pitches in the inning. But now behind 3-1 on the number 9 hitter. Bautista would be next. Two on, two out, and the 3-1. Heat. '96 good enough to throw by some guys, huh?
That was right there, and that was right down the middle too. That it wasn't put out on the edges or anything. He just challenged him with it.
Jeff Snyder has not homered in any of his last 81 major league games.
Two in a row at the same exact spot.
96 and then 97. And Tyone limits the damage to just the single run.
Allegheny Health Network, the largest health system rated #1 in the region for all the things that matter most. And by Kenny Ross Subaru, total confidence pricing. Let's go Bucks!
Here in Toronto, and the Blue Jays have an early lead. A lot of Pirate fans making their way. Fun trip, you get to see a new stadium, new city for a lot of people.
Niagara Falls.
Yeah, come through on the Peace Bridge, make your way over, and nice easy drive. Fun city, a lot of things to see. Temperatures in the 20s today, very enjoyable. I got to start putting $1 in for every like the Trevor Story jar.
We're gonna have a metric jar for you.
Yeah. Jordy Mercer will start it off bottom of the order with Jaso and Cervelli.
What is it, double it and add 12? Is that what the...
Technically.
In that area?
It's 9/5 plus 32. But something like that. One out, and Stroman has retired the first 7. Checking in on our social media as we do throughout the evening. #BucksBooth. We get to see it that way. Point Park brings it to you. Canada, here we come. Yeah, why not? It's fun. You get to try some colorful money. That's always good. All the way from England to Toronto. And think about that. Yeah, that's a, you know, some places it's an easier place to fly into for fans. Great to see Bucco fans from the UK here. That's fantastic. John Jason, no stranger to playing here. A lot of years in the American League. Played in this division.
East.
Yeah.
A lot of years playing on this kind of surface.
With the Tampa Bay Rays. Those were in his catching days. And hit by pitch. So the first Pirate base runner comes on a shoe skipper.
Did it get him in the toe?
He probably sold that one, looks like.
Don't know what that hit. Watch the pant leg. Does it move? No. No, no, and no.
Well, right. Mike Everett didn't call it right away, but Jaso very resolutely just went to first base.
Right, like there was no doubt that that hit him.
Yep. John Gibbons saying, yeah, I would like to contest this. That smile, I think, tells it all right there. Players used to shine up their shoes with really thick black shoe polish.
Yeah, that's one thing that you can't do anymore really is sell something like a diving trap in the outfield. I mean, what doesn't matter, you know, hold the ball up like you caught it, because if it's close they're going to look at it anyway.
The eyes see all.
There'll be all kinds of slow motion, super slow motion.
On Gibbons.
So you might influence the umpire, but it could get overturned.
Now there's got to be evidence that it did not hit him. Because the ruling was that he was hit.
Well, now from that view right there, it looks like it might go over and clip a shoelace on his front foot.
That might be all the Pirates need to.
Now, but from the other view,
yeah,
it didn't look like that.
Yeah. Yeah. The onus is now on proving that it did not hit him, because the call was that he was hit by a pitch. So if the call stands here, then the Blue Jays would be out of challenges. And they're going to say he'll stay at first base, so the Blue Jays lose the challenge.
It must have. Well, like you said, it's got to.
All stands.
It's got to be, you know, blatant evidence that it did not hit him. And
yeah. So in the third inning, the Blue Jays are out of challenges.
I could never see the ball really change direction or anything like that, but it looked like it did pass over the top of that front foot. Very close. So.
And after the review, now Cervelli wants a moment to collect himself. So we'll see if that comes into play later on. The Blue Jays cannot challenge things. Now they can request a crew chief review, but it's a request, not a demand. Cervelli checking in at 258.
I think we've seen over the year that the umpires are pretty lax in that regard. If they think there's any chance that maybe they might have missed something, they'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Looking on the lowdown, as we'll keep tabs on especially what the other teams are doing in the Central tonight. Pirates Center play 3 games back. All the action later. Refsnyder. Bad throw. Everyone's safe. Jaso scrambling to third. A fielder's choice and a throwing error on Refsnyder. So no hits in the inning, yet 2 on and 1 out.
I think his back foot started sliding out as he was making that throw. Watch his back foot as he plants it. See it slip? That cleats just wouldn't dig in for him.
Been with the ball club about 2 weeks now after a trade from the Yankees. Back to the top of the order, Adam Frazier. Knocked down by Donaldson. Safe. And a run across. And now on a bang-bang play at first, the Blue Jays don't have an option of looking at it. Tie ball game.
It looked like it was by. I kind of thought Donaldson might jump up and throw home on this. But that was never in any of his thoughts. He spun and went to second immediately. Pretty good throw and feed. Accurate throw from
Refsnyder.
Oh, from his knees. Donaldson gave him a nice feed, chest high, right on the back.
Well, I assume this is a Pirates challenge. Perhaps whether Cervelli was safe at second base. Sometimes we don't always get the word.
Oh, he's way off the bag.
Yeah, there's no more neighborhood play.
He's way off the bag. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Not even close.
That's going to take an out off the board, and the Pirates will have 2 men on when that gets overturned. Cervelli taking a drink of water before he goes back out to second. Now that is now back before the bona fide slide and all the new rules put in at second base, umpires would give that.
Yeah, let him
right?
go. Yeah, they let that go. There was the quote unquote. It wasn't like in the rules, but it was a neighborhood play that you're around there close. And they let guys kind of cheat off the bag a little bit so they could protect themselves.
Watch Refsnyder, who already made a throwing error in the inning. And Cervelli said, all right, I better get my helmet back on. And he's safe, so the Pirates win the challenge. That's another costly mistake by Refsnyder.
Having a rough at bat, and now a rough inning in the field.
See if they just score that at straight fielder's choice. Tom Prince at the helm with Dave Joust. So 2 on, and then you take an out off the board too. Josh Harrison. Pirates don't have a hit in the inning.
It's a nice call by Roach.
Devin Roach.
The back there in the clubhouse watching the videos to catch that phantom play out at second base. Really changes this inning around.
Yeah, looking live, it didn't really occur to us. So
yeah,
very astute.
Well, I've been, not to make an excuse, but I'm going to. After all these years and years and years and years and years of that play being nothing, there was nothing to it. That was just normal play. That I'm still not used to seeing guys get called for that phantom play. Unless they're like way. If the throw was to pull you off, then they would call, okay, you're off the bag. But as long as the throw was accurate, as that one was, I mean, I was praising what a perfect throw that was. That you were allowed to not be touching the bag as you caught the ball. You could get off a little bit in order to protect yourself from the runner sliding in.
And of course, with benefit of hindsight, now if Donaldson would have known all this would have transpired, he might have come home.
Yeah, hindsight. But I mean, he thought he had a shot at a double play.
And he almost turned one with a speedy runner.
I don't think he had time to think about it. Like, okay, now what should I do with this?
Driven out to the gap, and Josh Harrison with a big hit. Here comes Jaso, and or Cervelli, I beg your pardon, and that makes it 2-1.
They're taking advantage of that that review, the replay, and they've picked up a run now because of it.
So Cervelli is in. Frazier to third. First hit of the game, and the Pirates have a lead.
Watch how high this ball bounces. That's one of the difference. Look at that. See that? That's one of the differences that we're going to see these 3 games, especially when you get the sunshine out and that turf starts getting a little heated. Outfielders have to be careful about that.
There are little pieces of black rubber in and amongst the plastic out there that causes the ball to try to bounce normally. But like you said, yeah, it gets heated up.
It can be very bouncy.
Now McCutchen with first and third. So Jaso may or may not have been hit with a pitch, but it was ruled as such. Blue Jays lost their challenge. Cervelli almost grounded into a double play. Or I should say he bounced into a ball that should have been an out, but it wasn't on an errant throw. I beg your pardon. Then Frazier almost grounded into a double play. Everyone was safe on it. And then Harrison with a ball hit out to right center. Another one hit out that way. And Pilar can't get it. Frazier is in. And Harrison will move to third. And that should be a double for Andrew McCutchen.
A great excuse me, effort by Pilar to flat out dive. He looked like he had the ball in his hand, but came out. Jay thought he had caught it. Jay came to a stop. Looked like he even might have thought about running back the other way.
Just off the glove. Hit the ground hard.
Yeah, you better hope that the ground is kind of bouncy. He hit it real hard. Jay, watch. See right there. There's the step back. He thought he caught it. And again, with one out, you have to be a little conservative out there running the bases. Talked about that. Who was it? Was out there? Was it Donaldson was running last inning on that line drive that? Or no, it was Smoke. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, Pilar's been a Gold Glove finalist the last couple of years. And so
he got to it. He just couldn't hold on.
A lot of center fielders may not even be able to get there. So Pirates, after that double by McCutchen, run batted in number 71. 3-1 Pirates. Josh Bell. They said here to make this a 5-run inning. Several misplays and a few lucky hops, deflections. Rob Refsnyder with an error and not staying on the bag.
Opportunities were created, and the Pirates to this point have taken advantage of them.
High out to center, and still with only one out, this should play to run. Pilar's got a decent arm, but that's so deep that Harrison will come in.
Another quarter-inch on that bat.
4-run inning.
And Bell got an awful lot of this. This was way up close to that ceiling. Breaking ball also he put way up there.
On 2 hits. 4 runs across.
Still 1 out there to get. He got 2-out base hit.
He struck out on a 3-2 slider last time. fifth man to come up here in this inning. Kind of all started with a there's some run support for Jameson Taillon. Perhaps a phantom hit by pitch.
You know, the way that Jaso reacted, I think it did have to just nick the top of his shoe. And now what's wrong with Kutch?
Well, he called time just as Stroman was about to deliver. Oh my goodness.
This is not a.
I think this happened after his leadoff, because I was looking out there and he just took his leadoff and then all of a sudden something cramped up on him.
Well, on the double, it looked like he was running fine.
Yeah. I think it was just now as he took a lead. So Andrew McCutchen has to come out of this game.
Keep our fingers crossed on this one.
It's already 2 injuries. Russell Martin has left the game for Toronto.
You see the looks on everybody's face there. That's
right. Grabs his left knee.
Yeah.
Starling Marte had the day off, but he'll pinch run here and likely assume center field. Yeah, because we didn't see anything on the double. Seemed to be anything wrong.
No, there was nothing
right
wrong
on that lead.
Yeah, as he was taking the lead, I mean, everything was fine.
Well, if we get any word, we'll pass that along. Marte pinch running here with 2 outs, 4 runs across. Kind of puts a damper on this improbable inning where the Pirates got a couple of early runs before they had a hit and then got 2 run scoring hits as well. Four-run frame for the Buccos. And they lead 4-1. This inning and leading 4-1 on our UPMC scoreboard. Great to see all the Bucco fans here in attendance. Glad to have you with us here on this Friday night. Now Jameson Taillon has a lead with which to work. Jose Bautista struck out looking on a good curveball back in the first. Well, Tyone matched up against Marcus Stroman again, and these two faced each other here in this country earlier this season. That was back in Montreal in the final exhibitions. To center, Marte, and there it goes, a home run for Bautista, number 20. He's homered in 4 of the last 5 games, and he'll get one back for Toronto.
That's the thing with older players like Bautista, power guys. You aren't going to make them look bad on the same pitch too many times. Last time up, the pitch that he struck him out on was kind of a hanger that he started at him and it broke right down the middle for a strikeout. Here, this one, pretty much the same pitch, starts at him and then breaks over the middle, and Bautista's waiting on it.
20th home run, Rafael Lopez. There's a base hit. Batting for the first time after coming in for Russell Martin. His 3rd major league hit and first in 3 years. Well, Tyone began the last inning with a little trouble. First American League hit for Lopez, who had 2 hits with the Cubs 3 years ago. I think they think it's his first major league hit.
His first Canadian hit.
Yes. He's aboard for Josh Donaldson. High out to center. Marte with room this time. And that's the first out. Donaldson has hit the ball hard twice, but he's 0 for 2.
Good hitters ballpark. Ball carries here. A lot of home runs. Never really a time for a pitcher to relax in this place.
Especially when they have some of these big boppers. Justin Smoke, 31 home runs and nearly hitting 300. He singled and scored a run back in the 2nd. What makes this a hitter-friendly park? Is it the dimensions? Is it the turf?
Oh yeah, the dimensions and the way the ball carries. I mean, it's like, what makes the Great American Ballpark at Cincinnati. Same thing. It's got dimensions that are kind of normal, but the ball, for whatever reasons, really carries there. And same thing here. Same thing where we're going to go in a couple of days, Miller Park. It's not like the dimensions are like a little league field or anything, but as you know, being in Milwaukee, ball carries really well here.
Yes.
And I can't really explain why.
Tyone ahead of Smoke here.
It's like the locations too. The ball carried very well at Riverfront. Now the Great American Ballpark, ball carries well. Same thing, Veteran Stadium and
Citizens Bank Park.
Yes, Citizens Bank. And thank you for saving me there.
Popped him up. And David Freese will record the 2nd out. So after the first 2 men reached, the next 2 men gone. And a look at some of the familiar faces. Everybody here appearing with the Pirates at some point or another. Jay Happ just a brief amount of time. But Bautista, long time with the Pirates, mostly up and down. Same thing with Steve Pearce. He came through the system. Russell Martin came as a free agent, and of course a big part of those early postseason teams.
Yeah, you're right. You look there, it happened, Martin, and what an impact that they had. It happened a very short time, but I mean, it was like we got Sandy Koufax, right there at the end of the year.
There's Jay Happ.
What a boost he was.
Signed a free agent deal here with Toronto. Last year winning 20 games. This year not the same results so far, but still a good year. Steve Pearce signing a 2-year deal, the first of these two now with Toronto. Russell Martin had to leave the game, as has Andrew McCutchen. When we get further word on why and the severity, we'll let you know. McCutchen just was straying from second base, taking his normal lead, and reached down, grabbed his left knee, and then walked off the field.
In some pain. I mean, he had a hard time getting down the steps.
Yeah. So Starling Marte taking over. And one missing, making it 2-2. Awfully close. Getting started with a Jose Bautista home run.
Tyon's not really shying away from that strike zone tonight. He's going right at these guys.
And the last time around, after the first inning kind of got away from him, really started to get aggressive. Maybe reminding himself that he's got good stuff. Strike 3 call. Might have got a bit of a break there. But that ends the inning. Blue Jays get one on the Bautista home run.
Drive Rav 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
The 4th inning coming up here from Toronto. Jamison Tyone and the Pirates leading 4-2 here at Rogers Center, formerly called the Skydome years back, opening in 1989. And late great Tom Cheek, radio broadcaster here. That number signifies how many consecutive games.
Oh man,
that he called.
That's getting up there.
Yeah, passed away too young. Ford Frick winner, the broadcaster wing of the Hall of Fame. Jays with a great history. This their 41st season. Out to Refsnyder. So Gregory Polanco retired to start the Pirates' 4th inning. A couple of World Series here, back-to-back years. We remember '93, Joe Carter against the Phillies. They've had some good years lately, getting into the postseason, but this year they've been in not a distant last, but last place for most of the year. There's Carter. There's the Ring of Honor here. Not retired numbers, but
you know, they're
signifying
one of
greats.
those examples that it's not all about how much you spend on that payroll. They're always one of the bigger spenders, but you know, there's more to it than that. Who you're spending it on, what kind of you know, years the guys have health-wise. You always you get a lot of guys that are getting injured all the time.
Maybe have a couple guys have career years.
Yeah, I mean they're.
There's the retired number. The Hall of Famer.
They go hard here when it comes to putting name players on the field.
And you think about last year, Cleveland goes to the World Series. They opened the season with a lower payroll than the Pirates, and they made it all the way to the World Series. I think they were one of the lower ones. There's Roberto Alomar's number 12 in the Hall of Fame. There's really no correlation, though. Obviously, when you have a big payroll, you can have more room for error. But guys like Marcus Stroman, for instance, I mean, still young in his career, he's not making big dollars. So the farm system helps when you get production from there. Feels his position very well. And 2 down.
How many double plays did you say he started this year? You were telling me earlier.
Well, he's gotten 25, and he started, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 of those.
I mean, he really is like having an extra infielder out there.
Did play the field early on in his career at Duke University, where he is a college graduate, finished up after being drafted, turned what was a nearly season-ending knee injury into a chance to get his degree.
A pretty nice changeup.
So hit on the shoelace with a pitch his last time. Almost hit there again.
Yeah. Should have went jogging down to first.
That started what ended up being a 4-run inning on only 2 hits. And that really frustrated Stroman. We could hear him all the way up here. Refsnyder making a couple of errors in the inning behind him. I think I heard him say phooey or heck, something like that.
Not happy.
Yeah. John Gibbons, second stint with the Blue Jays, longtime manager now. Out to Refsnyder. It's a more Stroman-like inning, 3 ground ball outs, but the Pirates have the lead.
I'm watching him pitch north of the border for the first time as a big leaguer. I'm Robbie, it's Mikowski, and this is the country where both of Tyone's parents are born. And yesterday he discussed his excitement making his first start here in Canada.
It's cool. You know, I don't identify as much as Canadian, born and raised in the U.S., but for my parents it's really special. That's part of the reason I played for the World Baseball Classic team, is for them, and so they can feel some pride. So there will be a lot of family there, a lot of friends.
And Christy is here with 30 family and friends, and she grew up right here into the city of Toronto, about 15 minutes here from the ballpark, as we get a look at her wearing the yellow shirt. His father, Michael, is from Cornwall, Ontario, which is about 4 hours from here. And Jameson was discussing earlier, when they would make family trips, they would see his mother's side of the family here in Toronto, Joe, and then they would get in the car and drive northeast to Cornwall, where they would spend time with his father, Michael's family. Michael not able to make it here to Toronto tonight, but all the Tyones are watching from the United States and cheering on their brother, their little brother, making his first start here north of the border, guys.
Well, thanks for that, Robbie. I know you know, he was really excited in that exhibition in Montreal, but this is more where the family comes from, in Ontario. And this counts, and I think that's what's really fun about this experience for Tyone. But you know, family originating in Hungary, and grandmother Agnes leaving during World War II from Hungary to come to Canada. That's where the family settled, and that's where his roots are. But yeah, born and raised, born in Florida, but raised in Texas. But gets to see a lot of family. Herrera down on strikes. And that lineage, when you have the World Baseball Classic, you're allowed to kind of go back a couple of generations if you'd like to pitch. And he wanted to honor his family by pitching for Team Canada back as a young man in 2013, and pitched very well against the United States. Really starting to make a name for himself throughout baseball in that game.
You notice that back then, as a youngster, had that great curveball. See that? Dropping it on everybody. Good pitching conditions there that day. The bright sun on the mound. A little dark around the hitters. He took advantage of it.
We saw that he retired Ryan Braun in that talking with Braun a few years ago about Tyone, and he really was impressed at that time with Tyone. And you know, you think about, you know, some of the game's greats that play in that World Baseball Classic, and as a guy in his early 20s getting to face that kind of talent, you know, that had to do give him a lot of confidence as he moved through the minor league ladder.
When you're facing a guy in early 20s like that, you don't expect to see the finished product that Jameson Tyone is. I mean, the way he carries himself on the mound, the command of his pitches, the type of pitches he can throw, all, you know, quality. The curveball, the changeup, plus fastball.
And that's what made those two starts where he gave up 10 runs and 8 runs so unusual, because yeah, everyone has one once in a while, but to have him back to back like that,
oh, yeah,
where games got away from him.
Yeah, we're sitting up here and I'm like, what's going on? I never thought that, and I knew that, you know, Jameson occasionally is going to have a bad game. Everybody does, but yeah, that was kind of a shocking thing. I'm glad that a couple of games and boom, went away. That was good to see that he was able to get that out of his system.
But we'll still see his earned run average higher than you would expect. And that might actually help him, because going into next season, you know, a lot of people that don't see the Pirates every day, they make predictions and things. He may still fly under the radar, but at least in my view, I think he's one of, or becoming, if not there already, one of the game's good, very good young pitchers. And he takes care of the Blue Jays in order in the 4th, working with a 4-2 lead here in Toronto. Toronto 4-2. The Pirates enjoying the lead. And on our UPMC scoreboard, Jameson Taillon with a 2-run advantage. Sending down the side in order. He's gotten 4 men looking on strikes, 5 strikeouts all told tonight.
The second game in a row where he's just loving that curveball, and it continues to work. It did get over the fence. Batista saw one that was kind of left up a little bit, but for the most part, nobody's doing anything with it.
So Cervelli will start things here, and Refsnyder. 1 pitch and 1 out. Now let's go back to our studios. Rob King checks in with a game break. Thank you, Rob. I wonder if he used Josh Donaldson's bat for that. No. We saw earlier Donaldson was using Arenado's bat. I don't know why, but that's a fine young player there in Denver. Roughly on pace for 140 runs batted in this year. Frazier picked up one earlier tonight. Donaldson made a terrific stop and didn't get any outs out of it because of an error. Brewers trailing early, hosting Cincinnati. Cardinals are hosting the Braves beginning a weekend series. There's Josh Donaldson. Cubs are in Arizona later on tonight. Brewers have lost 5 in a row. The Cardinals have won 6 in a row. And after tonight, or after the series, I should say, Pirates 34 out of the next 38, all within the division. Smoke gets the second out, and now 7 in a row sent down by Marcus Stroman.
And when you play the teams that are in front of you, I mean, those are obviously very important games to be able to give yourself a win and hang an L on those guys. So
I really like
you
how
look
baseball
at those.
does
You look
that.
at those division games, and that gives you hope, and you don't have to worry about, you know, when people say, "Oh, you got so many people you got to jump over this team or that team." Well, we're playing that team, and you don't have to jump far. It's 3-2-1.
Yeah, 3 games back. The next team's 2, the next team's 1, and comes on top for the moment.
It's up for grabs right now.
Yeah, Pirates play well down the stretch. They can make their way into the postseason.
That's very simple right now. Whatever team plays the best baseball, because I mean they're all still in a bunch. We got what about 7 weeks left.
That's now that you say that, yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like a 7-week season.
Pirates have been playing over the last 6 weeks or so better baseball than everybody but the Dodgers, basically, in baseball. They've played a game and a half better than the Cubs, a game and a half better than the Cardinals, and 6 games better than the Brewers since July 4th. But they're 3 games back, so they've got to play a little bit better than those teams the rest of the way. And 3 different teams. But the Pirates, you know, you find themselves 3 games back. Every other second place team in every other division in baseball is farther back than the Pirates are as the 4th place team currently in the Central. So it really is up for grabs. Pirates, if they can win tonight, will get back to 500, which in the 2 wild card era puts you in the thick of things. And this year in the NL Central, it makes it a very attractive record. Jose Bautista has homered, accounting for 1 of the 2 Blue Jay runs. Pilar a sac fly the other. A little hesitation in the delivery from Stroman.
A long at bat, 8 pitches now. Having a hard time figuring it out. He's tried the quick pitch. He tried the double hesitation. That time the single hesitation. Everything he can to try and mess up Jay Hayes' timing.
We'll pause. And then a base hit. Nice at bat for Josh Harrison. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
Well, you hate that after 9 pitches to not get an out.
Keeps the inning going. MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Pirates baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. You can get Pirates home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, statcasts, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Starling Marte in the game, a substitute for Andrew McCutchen. And if we get an update on him, we'll pass that along to you. But was taking a lead from second base, and then grabbed his left knee or leg, and then limped off the field. Got that on the low hop, and Marte taken care of. 2-out single left off. Pirates still leading here in Toronto.
Number 5 on the UPMC scoreboard. Well, we showed Jameson's mother Christy here on one side of the ballpark here at Rogers Center. On the other side are his godparents. They are Bruce and Paula. They are holding up the sign that says #JMO Strong, of course, showing much support for him as he went through testicular cancer surgery earlier this season. And the one thing Jameson was thankful of is that his mother helped handle all these arrangements here. So Bruce and Paul, like when the extended family are looking for tickets, he didn't have to deal with a lot of this. His mother handled who was coming, how many, and how many tickets she had to get so he could focus on pitching in the ball game tonight, guys. So pretty good stuff all around. Jameson has his immediate family, extended friends all over Rogers Center tonight.
Thanks, Robbie. I'm glad that his turn came up in the series for him to have such an opportunity. But also a reminder too, seeing that sign that, you know, we talked about how Taillon had a couple of struggles on the mound in recent starts, and we think of him as being so strong, not only on the field, but of course off the field. And I think that's a reminder that, you know, this young man's been through quite a bit, more than anyone would ever bargain for. And you know, for him to get back and pitch 5 weeks after undergoing surgery to remove cancer.
You know, right now you look at the stat sheet and You know, he doesn't have the innings that a lot of other starters have. So you think, well, he shouldn't be feeling fatigue like maybe some other guys do because he hasn't been out there. But who's to say what he went through isn't a lot worse than pitching every 5 days as far as wearing you down. So yeah, it's definitely an issue you have to consider as the season grinds along.
Point Park tweet from Tyone tonight, talking about his excitement prior to pitching here this evening, and he's racking up the Ks, 6 of those already tonight.
Yeah, it's almost like he's starting to show off a little bit. That's maybe one of the best curveballs he's thrown tonight. Just went in there and fell off the table.
How do you hit that? He struck out 4 of the last 5 Blue Jays. The one guy that's gotten him tonight, the veteran Jose Bautista, a home run his last time. This time into the shift. And 2 are gone in the Toronto 5th inning. "70 pitches for Tyone. Rafi Lopez in there in his 11th major league game as a catcher. Very little major league experience. Nearing his 30th birthday. He came in after Russell Martin.
Got that hit last time up as a two-seamer that was moving away from him. He just decided to go with it. Absolutely the same pitch right there. That little two-seam, got the movement, running away from the hitter.
Getting ahead 75% of the time for Tyone. That's a good number, really good number. Still 1-2 on Lopez. Played his college ball at Florida State. Josh Donaldson 0 for 2, but 2 hard hit balls is on deck.
What will he throw here? Will he come back with it? Look, taking a long time to get a sign down. I don't think there was ever a sign put down that whole time. And now you got the curveball.
Yeah, why not?
No chase.
Now 2-2. Lopez is the last Blue Jays base runner when he singled in the 3rd. And he's called out on strikes.
Cervelli with a little Tony Pena action there.
5 looking, 7 strikeouts for Jamison Tyone. inning. What seemed to be just a little ball in the dirt ended up going as a hit by pitch. That looked like it might be a terrific double play. Refsnyder didn't stay on the bag. Call overturned. Everyone's safe, and Josh Harrison making him pay with an RBI single. And followed by an Andrew McCutchen double. The Pirates would score 4 times in that 3rd inning on just the 2 hits. And on that, Andrew McCutchen just leading off at second base, having to come out of the game. Still no word as to why. And Jose Bautista with a home run leading off the 3rd for Toronto. That plated their 2nd of their 2 runs. We begin the 6th with a 4-2 Pirate lead. The Canadian flag, both the national anthems sung before the game today. Oh, that's Canada.
About how high both of Bell's flyouts have been.
He's got a ton of power.
One of the flyouts, a run scoring one, sacrifice fly.
Tried to quick pitch him there.
I think he succeeded.
Yeah, there's no try about it.
No, he succeeded in quick pitching him, but he didn't throw a strike. Quick pitched himself.
And a walk to Bell. And a look at our Allegheny Health Network injury update. And Russell Martin slow to get out of the batter's box and then could not come back out for the 2nd inning. A left oblique strain. Blue Jays characterizing that concern for Martin. Played 1 inning tonight, so Rafi Lopez, really their 4th string catcher, is in there. Refsnyder having trouble again, and that one soaring but staying in the field of play, so no further advance for Freese. It's just a fielder's choice.
Well, they are playing a little sloppy out there, aren't they?
Refsnyder having a rough go of it tonight.
Ball came up on him a little, got on the heel of the glove. Now, how did that not hit the stands?
That short hopped, yeah. John Gibbons looking on. Refsnyder's made 2 errors tonight. And he recovered to get the out.
One of the things we discussed right at the very front of this game was could be a pitcher's duel, and when you have that, base running and defense can be what wins or loses you the game. And right now, defense not looking good for the Blue Jays.
You could argue 2 things as Jameson Taillon has a lead tonight. You could argue that the Pirates don't score in that 3rd inning, and perhaps that inning added another maybe 15 pitches on Stroman's count here, and he may be out an inning sooner because of that.
Yep. I agree with both those things.
He's at 88 here with 1 out of the 6th. He probably should have 2 outs right now. But the Pirates will take the charity, no doubt. And Stroman has been visibly frustrated by the play behind him tonight.
He's known to at times to show those emotions on the sleeve a little bit.
Since coming off the DL, Polanco 4 for 28.
A little over anxious on that 2-1 breaking ball in the dirt.
Got a man at first with 1 out. That one wrapped off his foot.
Yeah, there wasn't much doubt what that one hit.
Right off the toes.
Yeah.
That right foot.
Like having somebody come up and
drop an anvil on it.
Yeah, a nice claw hammer and whap right on your toes of your shoe.
Ben Patanziano in the background there. Scott Bonnet, the clubhouse manager, but Patanziano, the assistant athletic trainer. He and Todd Tomczyk have done a fantastic job. The whole medical staff has done a fantastic job. There have been very few injuries for the Pirates this season.
Yeah, I agree with that. You got to tip your hat to them. That
right to Smoke. There's one and two. 3-6-3. And that erases the Pirates in the sixth, but the Buccos have the lead here in Toronto.
Sportsnet is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
4-2. Pirates showing the lead as we go to the bottom of the sixth here at Rogers Center. Some poor defense leading to a 4-run third. Another hard hit ball by Donaldson. It's a tough 0 for 3.
looked like a pretty good play by Freese.
He's played a nimble third tonight, as has Donaldson. Let's check in on our Day Automotive. This day in Pirates history, back in 1994, the Pirates beating the first place Expos 4-0 Zane Smith, a complete Game 5 hitter. And he threw just 96 pitches, didn't even strike out anybody. And it was the final game of the season because the strike
that's right.
came down the next day. Isn't that wild to think? You know, we're here in Canada, so you think about the Expos that season, and everyone talks about the Atlanta Braves, all those years where they won the division in a row. Well, the Expos were the team with the best record in baseball, 74-40. Which is a tremendous record. All those young players are all culminating at once. And you have to wonder if, you know, the strike may have been a part, small or big, of the Expos eventually 10 years later moving out of Montreal. Never got that World Series team. Who knows what happened? Maybe they don't even win the division. Who knows? But it's an interesting conversation.
Well, I think that it was probably one of those situations where people got together in a back room and decided, hey, this is going to break the Braves stretch. We can't let this happen.
Could have been three straight Canadian teams winning.
We have to stop the season.
Yeah. That'd have been something else.
It's my first year as a broadcaster.
And what was that like? You're transitioning to the booth, and then all of a sudden the season ends. What did you do? Everyone was kind of waiting, right, for a while? Save that thought.
A lot of fall baseball with the kids. That's what happened.
12 in a row sent down by Jameson Tayo.
presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Our Nissan road ahead, and tomorrow, as Chris Rowley looks to make his Major League debut against Trevor Williams, who has been very, very good. And then on Sunday, Cool and Hap. A couple of day games here from Toronto.
Weather's supposed to be nice, right? They'll have the roof open.
Yeah, it should be. There's Chad Cool practicing already. A lot of players first trip to Canada. The Pirates played the exhibitions in Montreal.
Well, it used to be something that I was very used to. Playing all those years in the National League East with Montreal. We'd come up to Canada 3 times a summer.
Prior to interleague play, you'd never come here to Toronto. This is the Pirates' 3rd trip ever to play the Blue Jays here in Toronto. Francisco Cervelli played here a lot as a Yankee, but yeah.
4th trip. We came up here in spring training one year.
Oh, okay. Regular season.
When they opened.
Nice asterisk.
When they opened when they opened up the stadium.
Smoke as the first out. Get your tickets for the next fireworks night here at PNC Park coming up on August the 18th when the Pirates host the Cardinals at 7:05. After the game, Zambelli fireworks light up the Pittsburgh skyline, presented by 84 Lumber. Plus, be sure to check out the block party on Federal Street before the game. Go to pirates.com/fireworks. Get your tickets. It's the only number 13 in black and gold tonight. Clint Hurdle away attending the funeral of Don Baylor. And so we see Tom Prince acting as manager today and tomorrow.
Hilton Stadium in mid-season.
1989.
Yeah, maybe it was
Skydome.
Might have been spring training in '90 then that we came.
Maybe
up.
the first. First season full season that they opened. Took over for old Exhibition Stadium.
I think about odd thing. I notice odd things. You know that. My memory from coming up here. Well, one thing, how cold it was in the middle of March, and then
Stroman had already begun his delivery, and time was called.
Yeah, well, I'll save that story for another time since we have an issue going here.
Now Stroman will deliver. This has been an ongoing thing where as Stroman hits the century mark in pitches, because he has that kind of delay sometimes in his delivery like that. Sometimes he gets time called on him in mid-delivery.
Kind of odd that they would call time in the middle of a guy's windup. Not sure I've ever seen that.
Right, that step back is part of the windup.
Yeah, that's all.
We see a lot of Asian-born pitchers kind of pitch that way, and that's becoming more and more popular here in the major leagues. We've seen some guys adopt that as just another way to disrupt timing, right?
Hey, you can look back to the Cuban right-hander for the Red Sox,
Louis Tiant.
Louis Tiant used to have all kinds of different stuff in his windup. Pauses and spins. And
Stroman seemed to be peeved by that timeout.
Yeah, he definitely got fired up there, didn't he?
Time to stretch, but the Pirates still have the advantage. Jameson Taillon's been putting on a clinic. He has retired 12 Blue Jays in a row, limiting them to just 4 hits tonight. Pirates making the most of a couple of errors in what is a 4-run third inning. Blue Jays still out hitting him tonight. Yet all that matters is that score, 4-2. Carrera 0 for 2. Drove one back in the second. Change up from Taillon. Third time around in the order. Getting ahead 4 out of 5 times.
Good way to pitch. It makes such a difference in that batting average, opposition batting average. You look at those numbers when those guys fall behind right away, 0-1. Now these are just averages. Obviously, it doesn't really predict every time what's going to happen, but it puts things way in your favor.
About a 40-point swing in batting average. That's significant.
Yeah,
just on one pitch. Look at the pitches by inning. Very, very crisp, especially lately. Needed 5 pitches to retire the side last inning. 5 so far here to Carrera, filling the count. Ryan Goins is on deck.
Looks like there's some movement in the bullpen.
Driven to left. And Frazier will get it on the count. And that's a leadoff double for Carrera, the first Blue Jay base runner since the 3rd.
There's an example of the way the ball carries in this ballpark. Opposite field, it looked like he just kind of flicked it out there, and it went all the way halfway up the fence.
Hard for the outfielders to judge. They only get a handful of balls out there.
And that ball wasn't all that high either, so I don't know. if it would have been a higher trajectory, then Frazier would have had some time, I think, to get out there and set himself. Could possibly have jumped up and made the play. A little too much of a line drive.
Carrera's been swinging the bat well.
The bullpen is now in session. Another thing about this ballpark, and I guess it was 1990 when we came up, talking about it all being state-of-the-art type stuff, and really all the players, as I said before, or maybe I said that to you in between innings, very excited about seeing it, the removable roof and all of that. But the TVs in the dugouts were unheard of back then. But you had to have them so you could see who was throwing in the bullpens. So that was a first that nobody had ever seen before. I mean, back then a lot of the bullpens were still on the field. And that was something. And what I was going to tell you, now that we have a little bit of a break in the action with Ray making his way out to the mound, one of the silly things that I remembered was when we got into the showers. In fact, I think I pitched one of those games. So I probably went to the showers early. But instead of the knob that controls the water, instead of, like, low and
HC
yeah, whatever, it actually had markings for whatever temperature you wanted to set your shower at. And I was like, wow, I mean, nowadays that probably didn't sound like a big deal, but 1990 for a clubhouse, that was kind of like, wow, look, this place is like a palace.
This was a state-of-the-art facility. We're seeing George Contos get up here in the 7th. After Tyone falling behind Goins 2-0. Hotel built into the ballpark.
Those are the rooms. Those are hotel rooms.
Opening 28 years ago. Goins is 1 for 2. He singled back in the 2nd. 2-run game, 7th inning. Lunging for that fastball.
When he throws the two-seamer, man, it really can move. I mean, that one is crazy movement on it.
Doesn't want to let that runner get to third.
He's got some weapons. Yeah, he would love to get a strikeout here. Nobody out.
That'll shoot through. Carrera on his way home. He'll be held up with Marte's throw coming in. And it ramped off the mound, and Cervelli with a leaping grab to keep it. But now the Blue Jays threatening with 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah, down by a couple of runs and having nobody out, you couldn't afford to send anybody and get them thrown out at the plate. Marte, I'm sure their scouting report is like, okay, we can't really run on this guy. He's got a cannon. If there's any chance of making an out on the bases, you got to hold up.
It appeared that the ball ramped off the mound and sped up a little bit. And now, with nobody out in the inning, Tom Prince, the acting manager, he wants Contos. So Tyone, who was outstanding, getting in a little trouble here in the 7th. And he'll come out here leading 4-2. And in support of him tonight, Pirates have done so with 4 runs. Running into some trouble here, but he's been awfully good tonight.
Yeah, and it was a lot about that curveball again, like his last start. But that didn't take anything away from the fastball, and especially I like the 2-seamer. Look, there's one right there. You see that movement going down and actually coming back to the strike zone. He had a little of everything going tonight. Maybe could have used just one more little fortunate thing happen there, that last base hit. How nice would that have been if it would have been right at Jordy instead of just a little bit to his left for the base hit. But still, nice strong game. 6 innings and just 92 pitches. So he kept that under control pretty good, especially the last few innings like you were pointing out earlier.
The provisional line on him, the 2 runs across, and now Contos will try to strand him.
He's done good work in his couple of outings here with the Pirates, and really so far showing an outstanding slider.
2 1-2-3 innings for him. First time he's come on with men aboard. Mercer backtracking and gets a quick throw in to keep Carrera at third. 1 out.
As that ball's coming down, he knows now, as soon as I make the catch, I got to get that 1-hop throw into the plate. Nobody can move up.
So Pilar retired. Good play by Mercer to get that first out. Contos, no stranger to inheriting runners. That was kind of his main job with the Giants all those years. Only 5 pitchers in the league during his career with the Giants inherited more runners. So this has been a specialty.
Needs a double play. If I'd have brought the hex stick up, I'd use it right now. That would be a perfect time for it.
Well, Refsnyder struck out twice against Tyone, a very light hitter, but does run pretty well. Can be doubled up. And getting word that Andrew McCutcheon left today's game with left knee discomfort. So that's why Starling Marte, who originally was going to get the day off, is in there.
Thought that what it might be.
Grabbed that left knee on his way out.
Yep, that was some discomfort.
Blue Jays with men at the corners, 1 out. Contos on in relief of Jamison Tyone.
There's that slider.
He strikes out Refsnyder for the 3rd time. He goes down tonight. Our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. And a home run earlier from Bautista, accounting for one of the 2 Blue Jays runs.
Hey, picked on a hanging breaking ball. He had made a little bit of an adjustment. He struck out on a hanging breaking ball earlier.
He's homered now in 4 of his last 5 games.
Those sneaky older players. They're going to change from at bat to at bat. Look for a certain pitch occasionally when he's got that count in his favor.
Strike 1.
Nice paint right there. Slider, bottom of the zone, that outside corner. Oh, right there.
Contos inheriting men at the corners with nobody out.
4 shakeoffs. I didn't know he had that many pitches.
He's got a huge arsenal. Came up as a starting pitcher years ago in the Yankees system. Was a longtime teammate of Francisco Cervelli.
Not a bad slider there. Pretty good location. Slider, cutter, curve, change up, fastball.
No knuckleball.
You know, sometimes you can add something while you're out there and just make it up. Keeps that other team off guard. Throw a knuckler every now and then. I don't think we'll see a knuckler in this situation of the game, though.
Now that's analysis. Jameson Taillon trying to keep him in line for the victory. Santos got Pilar to pop out. He struck out Refsnyder. With 2 Blue Jays aboard, now 2 outs and a 2-run lead in the 7th. Now ahead of Bautista. What are you thinking here, Bob?
It's too complicated. He's got 5 pitches.
Get him to chase, jam him.
Well, it's all open. I mean, he's
Yep.
way ahead in the count. One thing you don't want to do is leave anything in the middle part of that plate.
Go down and away. Get him to roll it over. And Mercer gets the final out. What a job by George Contos in his 3rd game with the Pirates. He bails out Taillon, and the Pirates still lead 4-2. Came on with 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and left him right there, getting the final man, Jose Bautista.
He really did a nice job, but with the command of that slider. I mean, that one there maybe not so good, but the first 2 to get ahead, and then Bautista is maybe trying to tie this game, do something big with one swing, so he goes out and tries to pull a pitch away from him, and rolled over and hit that nice easy ground ball to short.
How about 3 innings with the Pirates now, 24 total pitches. He hasn't allowed a base runner. Good start, and first time coming on with men on. Left them both on, so now Taillon's line complete, 2 runs and 6+ tonight, eligible for a win if the Pirates can get 6 more outs. And Marcus Stroman back out for the 8th. Some poor defense behind him. Defense with a C, as they spell it here in Canada. There's a base hit for Frazier. That is the 4th Pirates hit tonight. Still good enough for a lead. Maybe they can add on here. And you'll never go hungry at the all-you-can-eat seats at PNC Park. It's presented by Sugardale. Unlimited hot dogs, nachos, hamburgers, pop, ice cream, and more. Get your tickets. They start as low as $45. And go to pirates.com/all-you-can-eat and find out more, like the Hitman. It's one intimidating presence right there.
The hitman, yeah.
Probably means he gets probably a good offensive player.
He likes Easler.
Yes. He was a good hitter.
The hitman.
Down in Jacksonville, 1 year when I was there, he was the hitting coach down there for a lot of the young Dodgers that ended up making their way to the major leagues.
He would have been a good guy to learn from.
So are those guys. Jeff Branson in the foreground. Jeff Livesey, the Pirates hitting coaches, work tirelessly to improve the offense. One out on that Harrison liner. Frazier staying at first here now with one away and checking the lowdown. Brewers down big, 7-2. The Cardinals up 5-1 in the third inning. Cardinals, they have won 6 in a row. The Brewers have lost 5 in a row. Milwaukee's playing themselves into a tough situation. The Cardinals are playing themselves perhaps into a first place tie by the end of the night.
Well, Milwaukee, you know, who knows what's going to happen. There's still a lot of time.
Oh, sure.
Excuse me. They're going to be thinking a little bit about what a couple years ago. Don't be looking at my cough button.
Marte runs well, but he knew he was going to be out, and that ends it. Leadoff single expires, and it's still a 4-2 Pirates lead.
The 8th inning, the Pirates leading the Blue Jays 4-2. Well, after returning from Tommy John surgery in May, Pirates prospect Nick Kingham has come back really strong in the last month. We get a look at what he's done in his last 4 starts. He's been spectacular with an ERA under 1. Last night, he threw a complete game in just 85 pitches. He allowed just a solo home run and an infield single the entire game. Now, Pirates general manager Neil Huntington said he's been aggressive in the last month. He trusts his arm, he trusts his pitching ability, and he's been a pitcher, in quotes, rather than a rehabber. Neil said they just want to see him hungry and aggressive the final month of the minor league season. Kingham was drafted by the Buccos in the 4th round back in 2010. He was a high school pick out of Las Vegas. So good stuff coming from down on the farm, Joe.
Thank you for that report, Robbie. And Sean Rodriguez now in the ball game, as is Juan Nicasio.
6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs.
Well, hopefully Nicasio can get through this 8th inning. Had a little bit of trouble yesterday.
Rodriguez out there in right field as a late inning defensive replacement. So Jaso out. Nearly 36,000 here tonight. 35 folks shy of that. And a lot of black and gold in here too. A sea of blue in Toronto.
It's like they're having some kind of big festival that we're setting up today outside the Rogers Center here.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's a beer drinking festival.
Oh, okay. Well, remember tomorrow game is 1:10.
It's a day game.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up. That one's going to be wall foul. Frazier over to give it a look.
Rafael Lopez came in the game for Russell Martin, who left with a left oblique strain.
Craft Beer Festival, I believe. I saw the big sign when I was driving in. Booths and stuff being set up all over the place.
Booths?
Booths.
Oh, I didn't know what you said there. So what?
Boots? Did I say boots?
No.
I might have.
Stole it. Not true. Sharply hit. But one away.
You're looking at those craft beers. You got to be selectful of which one you take.
Continue to enjoy them. These are all jokes for us.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
We'll move on. These are things that have been said in recent weeks. Let's look at our lowdown.
Well, I've been saying stalled my whole life.
Yeah.
So
They like George Contos. Yeah, how can you not so far? 3 perfect innings. And came in a big spot, protecting a 2-run lead with 2 men aboard. And stranded them both. Literally got him for nothing.
yeah. Here, take them.
You cannot lose on that trade. Donaldson 0 for 3. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. Freese made a fantastic play to end the first inning. Hit the ball hard again. That is the toughest 0 for 4 you're going to see. Glad it came to someone in blue. Former MVP.
Oh, he stayed right on that slider inside the baseball.
He's been heating up the last 6 weeks or so after a sluggish start. Now Justin Smoke, 1 for 3. I was talking with him today before the game, talking with Smoke about when he came up as a young switch hitter with, Josh Bell kind of coming through the ranks now. And for Smoke, I mean, it took him several years to kind of figure out how to approach practicing, taking swings from both sides of the plate. He thought he wore himself down early on in his career.
Too many swings, you mean?
Too many swings, yeah. He's naturally a right-handed hitter.
I guess you would kind of have to think you got to take twice as many as everybody else, because you want to get those swings in left-handed, and then you don't want to overlook the right side, because that's where you're not going to be seeing that many left-hand pitchers. So if you don't concentrate on getting those swings right-handed, you might go a long time before you can jump over and do that. So it is a little extra something that those kind of players have to think about.
And Smoke said that, being a naturally right-handed hitter, now what he does is he doesn't really work on his right-handed hitting. He feels comfortable, and as you said, you don't see that many lefties. He works on batting left-handed way more often, almost entirely, and so kind of reduces the workload pre-game.
Well, as long as he's
There's Stroman.
Hitting the lefties. Don't try to fix something that's not broke.
He's hitting almost 400 against lefties and beats the shift there. 2 hits. A 2-out base runner. That brings the tying run up here. Hard away, way off the plate. Smoke's still able to just get something on it. Hitting almost 300 this year with over 30 home runs. I mean, he's been a very, very big improved player, maybe the most improved.
Now, there's been situations this year where they've gone to Rivero. There are 2 outs in the 8th.
Got 2 lefties to follow after Pierce. There's nobody up in the Pirates bullpen.
Well, they're not going to go to him then, I guess. Huh?
Would be awfully unconventional if they did. Silent right now.
Very quiet.
Rivero threw 10 pitches yesterday.
Not silent now.
Whoop, whoop. Phone call. Carrera and Goins would follow, both left-handed batters. Got underneath it. That point is moot. Final out is recorded. Scoreless 8th for Juan Nicasio. Pirates will look to add to a 2-run lead as we go to the 9th. Providing the music here on a Friday night, and it has been rocking for the Pirates. 4 runs, all unearned to Marcus Stroman in that 3rd inning. Right now, the difference. It has been a relatively quiet Rogers Center, except for those wearing the black and gold tonight. Looking to add to the lead as the Pirates come up here in the 9th.
Barnes numbers on the year. One of the things that he has that I was amazed at when I was looking at some of his stats earlier is the job he has done with inherited runners this year. He has inherited 24 runners and 3 of them have scored.
Wow, that's very good.
That's fantastic. Very, very good.
Starts with a clean inning here. Marcus Stroman, 4 hits, 4 unearned runs in his 8 innings, and Rivero getting up. Jays have the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up in the 9th. The first 2 are lefties. And Rivero has obliterated left-handed batters this year. So still never hurts to add some insurance. Bell strikes out to start the 9th.
Barnes, not a hard thrower at all, but kind of like Schugel.
Not afraid.
Fastball, change up, fastball, change up, and throw strikes.
Barnes out of Princeton. '35th round selection.
Kind of a smart pitching staff over there. You got Duke, Princeton.
Anybody else? What?
I'm sure there is. I don't have the
but I do.
The colleges in front of me right now.
Happ went to Northwestern.
Yeah, there you go. That's another one.
Aaron Luke went to Tulane. Is that? I don't know. Keep it going. Hey, the Bucks and the Jays back at it for an afternoon game tomorrow. Trevor Williams gets to start for the Pirates against Chris Riley, making his major league debut for the Jays. Our coverage on AT Sportsnet begins at 12:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason. 2 down for Polanco, hitless in 3 trips tonight. Polanco still trying to get back into a rhythm after being on the DL, 10th game back. Barnes a 1-2-3 ninth, so it will be a 2-run lead. Felipe Rivero coming on to try to close it.
Is brought to you by Barrel. Visit Barrel.com to learn more about our 3 conveniently located collision centers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
On a Friday Night Rocks. Pirates trying to spoil the fun for the Torontonians here at Rogers Center. 4-2, 4 unearned runs in the third. Standing up thanks to some good pitching again here tonight.
And now it's up to Rivero to get the final 3, which he has been very good at. The numbers certainly tell a story.
11 out of 12 in save opportunities. And the Jays, with both Kendry Morales and Norichika Aoki ill and assumingly unavailable tonight, they go with their last available pinch hitter and Darwin Barney. They just don't want to have too many lefties up against Rivero. Barney at 230, the former Cub, 3 for 10 as a pinch batter. Not like righties do much better against Rivero.
Yeah, I don't think Rivero really cares a whole lot about left-handers, right-handers. Little difference, not much. Bell, we're going to give it a look. First row.
So Barney, Goins, and Pilar. That's who's due up against Rivero. Came on yesterday and preserved the victory, although allowed the 2 inherited runners to score. That's something that Rivero's been very good at. Prior to yesterday, he stranded 2 of his first 21, or 19 of the first 21. Only 2 came around. Softly hit, but Rodriguez playing in, and there's 1 out.
Well, there was a stretch there where Rivero was just untouchable. They couldn't hit him. I mean, it was crazy.
Prior to this, well, last week, when he had a couple of hiccups, Rivero was heading for one of the lowest earned run averages in the history of baseball. And lefties just can't hit him. They slug under 100 against him. He's got the best slugging percentage against lefties since records were kept in the 70s. So 45 years of baseball, no one's been better than him against lefties.
Definitely took the sting out of the bat here. A little curveball hit right on the very end. Just a roller back to the mound.
It's nice.
I was going to say, did you notice that replay that Jordy in the background went ahead and made the play like he was pretending like the ball came through to him. Took a crawl, hop, fake the throw.
The ultimate compliment. Now there's Jordy. The ultimate compliment for a closer is that people are leaving. 2-run game in the 9th.
They're walking up the stairs right now.
And now they're going to have the tying run come up. Pilar hanging in there on 0-2.
Yes, I think he threw him a changeup. Looked like.
Cervelli was trying to slow down Rivero.
Telling him to wait. Like a crossing guard.
Yeah, low changeup. He's gotten hit on that changeup a little bit more often now in recent weeks. Rob Refsnyder struck out 3 times tonight. You got to throw this guy all fastballs.
Had a bad night.
Yeah, you got to throw this guy all fastballs. He couldn't catch up to Tyone.
The 3 strikeouts. The poor defense that really changed the game around.
Rivero earlier, preceding that home run to Duvall against the Reds, threw Billy Hamilton a changeup, and he smacked extra base hit, and then Duvall hit that 2-run home run, and that snapped a stretch of what, 5, 6, 7 weeks where Rivero hadn't allowed a run, and that has kind of started to show up now as, you know, a lot of hitters that don't think they can hit the fastball, they sit on that changeup that comes in at 89 or 90. All heat so far to Refsnyder. And the lighter hitters, well, you know, Hamilton, you know, in terms of power, Hamilton, Refsnyder, I put in that class. Why throw him anything else? Now Rivero said, you know, the one thing about that is, well, then he might foul off a million pitches. So that's the one thing against that. Fulham with a breaking ball, and Rivero converts another save, and the Pirates take an important first game of this series here in Toronto.
Yeah, nice little backdoor curveball to get the game over. Bell with just missed a couple of home runs tonight with a couple of long high drives to the outfield. Got an RBI. Good win. You know, we keep talking about winning these series as the season goes along, and winning the first one in this 3-game set's big. It's not that easy coming in here and playing these guys. They can score a lot of runs.
How about Tom Prince, acting manager tonight, wins his managerial debut.